guys. My
I'm reading the whole thing, right? She reading the whole thing?
Yep. Oh, hold on just a second.
Okay.
I've got to get this oriented on here and type. And then zoom in. Get everything together. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Regina and Friends Crime Chat. Today, we have a very important story to tell of a mother's fight for justice for her son. And this is, you need that?
No, I was just making sure.
That's, it's working though. That's great. It's audio. Perfect. Thank you. Um, we're going to be telling Jerrick Holder's story today, and we're going to be talking about his murder. And this is the live interview with his mother and his aunt. Would you like to begin with his life's journey?
Yes. Um, Jerrick Holder Jr.
Speak louder, please.
Jerrick Holder Jr., affectionately known as Nunu and Lil Hank. He was born October 22nd, 2005 to Ashley Kelly and Jerrick Holder's. He was a student at the Ford City High School and was scheduled to graduate with the class of 24. Jerrick was known for his outgoing personality, love of football, basketball, all sports. He loved hanging out with family and friends. He was very loving. He was a very loving person and always say, "I love you." He was preceded in death by his paternal grandfather, Bunny James Holder, and maternal great-grandmother, Queen Esther Robinson, and Leomi Kelly, great-aunt Bobby Washington. He lives to cherish his memories, his parents, Ashley Kelly of Fort City, Arkansas, and Jerrick Holder, Sr. of Marvell, Arkansas. Siblings, Janiyah Kelly of Fort City, Arkansas, Jerrick Holder of Mariana. Valerie and Bruce Kelly, Sr. of Fort City, Arkansas, Rita Rivers of Marvell, Arkansas. Four aunts, Desiree Kelly, Aisha Kelly, Vanessa Kelly, Kiana Kelly, all of Fort City, Arkansas. Two uncles, Ron Kelly of Conway, Arkansas, and Bruce Kelly of Helena, West Helena, Arkansas, and a host of great aunts, great uncles, cousins, and other relatives and friends.
And could you please tell us who you are?
I am Ashley Kelly, Jerrick Holder mom.
Your son is the victim that we're speaking about today.
Yes, my son is the victim.
And could you state who you are, please?
I am Desiree Kelly. I am the aunt.
The aunt of
Jerrick Holder.
Jerrick Holder. And that's what brings us here today. We're going to be discussing, I dropped a video yesterday, a short of a crime scene involving a gentleman in a car who had just been shot. That was Jerrick Holder. How old was Jerrick?
Jerrick was 17 years old.
He was 17 years old.
He was actually 16. He died when he was 16 years and 11 months. He really wasn't even a full 17.
He wasn't even 17
No,
yet.
he barely
Not
lived
even.
it.
And he died in Forest City, Arkansas.
That is correct.
The video that I dropped yesterday showed him in the vehicle wearing a red hoodie, and that red hoodie is very important. Everyone take caution and listen about the red hoodie, because that's going to come up later again in this interview. Tell us a little bit about Jerrick and his academics and stuff, the letter you got from the school.
Jerrick was fun. He was loving. He was caring. He was a protector. He was helpful. He was a leader. He was a great kid. I just really can't count on the whole hand how many times that kid gave me a problem. I never had to go to a school on any occasions about him. I didn't have to worry. And as far as the police system, he wasn't in the system in the police. He never got in trouble. Like, I never had any issues out of the kid. And
Except for the one time there were problems we're going to get to here in a little bit.
yes, except for that one time that there was a problem, but it wasn't big enough,
Right.
you know.
Yeah. So he played in academics. You have a letter from the school?
Yes, I have a letter from the Fort City High School, class of 2024. It was they humbly submitted this resolution in honor of their classmate. It states, we, the members of Fort City High School class of 2024, wish to express our profound sorrow upon the loss of our dear friend and classmate, that we remember with affection and appreciation the impact he had upon each of our lives. We want the family to know that our hearts are with you as we come together with them to mourn the passing of a remarkable Jerrick Holder. Whereas Jerrick Holder attended Fort City High School as a proud Mustang, was a pleasure to be around. Often showed love, devotion, and loyalty to his school and his classmates. He was funny, compassionate, the young man with an unforgettable smile. His smile was beautiful. Whereas, among others, Jerick was a member of the Ford City football team in the year of 2021, where he took extreme responsibility, mental focus, and commitment qualities that he possessed. Therefore, let it be known that we cannot replace our classmate, but we will attempt to carry on the legacy of our beloved classmate who exemplified courage. Therefore, let it be resolved that a copy of this resolution will be docketed in the archive of the Ford City High School class of 2024 records, and a copy will be presented of the family of Jerrick Holder. Humbly submitted on this third day of December in the year of our Lord 2022, the member of Fort City High School class of 2024, Keegan W. Ward, Student Council Representative, and Dr. Malcolm Jones, Principal.
So he was pretty loved by his classmates and stuff. He played football.
Yes, he was loved from the old to the babies.
His academics were wonderful.
Yes, he was loved, well mannered. He was just a great kid all the way around. And when he got killed, it was shocking because it looked like, not Jerrick,
Right.
Not him.
So, getting to that part about the night that he died, tell us a little bit about how you got the call, what was going on when you got on scene. Tell us a little bit about that.
When I got that call, I had just settled in, and I was actually kind of dozing off. And that's when my daughter came into the room and said that one of the listed suspects had called her and told her that my son had been shot. I immediately rushed to the scene, and when I got there, I noticed that my son was sitting in a non-moving vehicle, dying. When I got there, it was so many people there. It was, oh my God, it was so many people, and I still don't understand why it was a lot of people there on the scene, but it was a lot of people there, as well as Bruce Hart, the chief of police. He was there.
Mm-hmm. And I believe another officer, if I read through the report right, was Officer Gracie.
Yes, he was on the port, but during that night, it was kind of blurry. But if I'm not mistaken, yes, he was there.
And now there were actually 2 people involved in the shooting that night. Mr. Donald, what was his last name?
Donald Williams.
Donald Williams. And he was found, if I'm correct, on Martin Luther King Boulevard.
Yes.
And that was in Forest City.
Yes.
But your son and the vehicle from the video released yesterday, that video footage was from Franklin Avenue?
Yes.
Or Franklin Street?
Franklin Street.
Franklin Street in Forest City, Arkansas.
Yes.
Blocks and blocks and blocks.
So many blocks.
Away from Martin Luther King, where this alleged shooting took place, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. And do you remember any of the other officers on scene? Was Varner on the scene then,
No.
or
Only the main person I seen was Chief Broussard.
you seen
I know
Bouchard?
for a fact that he was there because he was there right beside me during the time where I was um, trying to get to my son. He was the one that actually allowed me to even get to him and to touch him.
Right.
And when I was able to touch him, that's when I seen the bullet wound.
The bullet wound. And can you show me where that bullet wound was?
Yes, it was. He was on the left
Where?
side, right under his breast.
It was under his breast.
Yes.
And if I'm not mistaken, the bullet pierced his heart, the
Correct.
bottom part of his heart, and ended up lodged in his spine.
Yes, it went through his heart.
Mm-hmm.
It entered his heart, went through his lungs, and stopped and right in his spine.
Right. And it was lodged in his spine to the point that they had to remove it. But it was so lodged in his that's what we're getting to is the autopsy.
Yes.
They removed that bullet, and that's in the autopsy.
That is correct, but it's not on the autopsy.
But it's not on the autopsy.
No, ma'am.
Correct. And were you ever given ballistics?
Absolutely not.
You were never given any ballistic
Nothing.
reports. Okay. And so who all was in the car the night that Jerick was shot?
Brianna Holland,
Brianna. Uh-huh.
Brianna, and Nicholas
And Nicholas.
Anderson. Yes.
Now, relating to the video, is Brianna the girl that got in the car on the driver's side
She
in the
was the
video
driver.
that we released yesterday?
Yes, she was the driver.
That was her still in the car at the crime scene, the video from yesterday.
I had
With the driver's side door open and your son is in the passenger
yeah,
seat
my son
and
was
she
in the passenger seat.
okay, just clarifying that. And so you have tried to go to the prosecuting attorneys. You've had conversations with police officers. And this is all documented.
Yes.
Okay. Now we're going to you were already on scene whenever you showed up, right, Desiree? Am I saying it right?
Yes.
Okay. So, you were, Ashley,
Yes.
your sister, his mother, was already on scene whenever you showed up.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about whenever you showed up on scene, what was going on, and how you come to find out that he'd been shot.
Well, when I discovered he was shot, one of our other sisters had called me. I was to clock out, and she called me, and before I could even clock out, I had rushed over there to Franklin Street, and when I got over there, like my sister said, it was a lot of people out there on the street, even to where the ambulance or nobody couldn't get through. But I had parked, and in some type of way, I just made my way through the crowd, and by the time I got to the vehicle where he was in, it was a paramedic. I don't know his name. He was already there holding his wound, which was from his left side under his rib, and I just moved him out the way, and I continued to hold this wound of my own, and as I held it, only thing I can do, just pray, because at that time I didn't know if he was gonna live, or die. So
Right.
my first instinct, was just to pray. And I held his wound and I prayed.
So, did you know if he was still alive whenever you were holding him or not?
No, I didn't know, but he was.
He was?
He let go when I touched him. Yeah, because they let her come up after. After I came up, and when I came up, that's when I heard my sister, and I see my sister, she was calling my name. And she called my name, and she was like, Desiree, and I didn't know what to do, you know. I, I, I just didn't, I know, I just knew to pray. So I prayed and finally the ambulance came and then it took them so long. It took us so long. Man, and when I say they didn't try to push nobody back.
In the video, they aren't moving people back. They aren't taping anything off. Nothing.
You know, I usually have it's supposed to be a crime scene. You know.
Yeah.
Usually when you know people they tell y'all go to your homes, y'all get back.
Absolutely.
You know, they went. We ain't had no compassion. It went on nothing. It was like it was a concert or just like a show, a movie to them.
So, Ashley, what you're telling me is Jerick was still alive when you arrived on scene.
Yes, he was. You know, when I got there, he was still pumping his head. I knew he was dying. I knew it. But he heard his mommy, and he was doing this, and I begged the chief, you know, just let me touch him, just let me, you know, just let me know, just let him know that I'm here. You know?
Let him know you're there, yeah.
You know, and I'm grateful for that moment. You know, yeah, I lost my kid, but you know, he knew that I was there, and I'm still here. And he was
small blessings.
Yes, and he was just pumping, and finally I was able to touch him. And when I touched him, he instantly
let go.
He let go.
So, allegedly, this shooting happened blocks and blocks away between him and this other boy. Jerick was shot once.
Yes.
Donald had multiple gunshot wounds.
That is correct.
And that brings us to the statements that were received.
Correct.
From Miracle, and we're going to get to that here in just a second. But first of all, I want to talk a little bit about your struggle in getting this information.
Oh, man. God.
Yes. So, your son, as everyone seen from the video yesterday, was wearing a red hoodie.
That is
actually correct. Whenever he was shot.
Yes.
And that's very evident. You can see it. He's in the hoodie in the passenger side of the vehicle.
Yes. From
the video we showed yesterday. Now, when was it that who released the information to you?
Michael Ladd.
Michael Ladd.
That's correct. He released it on a Thursday, May the 30th, 2024.
But you didn't get
nothing.
That because they were supposed to specifically in that paperwork, and this all paperwork discussed right now will be uploaded later for you all to see and go over so that you can see that all of this is true and that these documents exist. In that paperwork, y'all were supposed to, that was signed May the 30th of, did you say 2024?
That is correct.
And you didn't get those personal effects
until February 26th. Until February 26th.
Until February the 26th.
2025.
And in that documentation you have, it specifically says that they were supposed to give you all. Now, you did get some of those effects back, correct?
Yes, I got.
And you have those?
Yes, I do.
Would you like to? Oops, sorry, guys. You're fine.
Take it out.
You don't have to. But that's his personal belongings, yes?
Yes, this is his personal belongings. And like we stated, the sweater wasn't in there.
The red hoodie was not in the box.
Yes, the red hoodie wasn't in the box.
And we have video of you actually breaking the seal on that evidence box.
Yes, I was trying to open it at the police station, but they stated that I couldn't open it in the building, and I had to take it out the building before I opened it.
Okay.
And when I opened it, this is what I got. Honestly, I don't even think this is my kid. This is not my baby stuff. But they gave me jeans. My God.
So you're saying that's not even your son's clothes?
No, not these. Not that. Maybe these undies. Maybe. My baby was little.
Yeah.
But they had the shoes there. This is the shoes that they gave me. And the socks. The shoes, they are heels.
But the The red.
The red hoodie wasn't in there.
Uh-huh. And we were talking about the red hoodie specifically. We had discussed the red hoodie. Allegedly, your son and this other boy shot each other. Your son was shot with a 9mm handgun.
Um,
According to the paperwork, it was a 9mm bullet that they removed from him. And all the casings at the crime scene were from, correct?
correct.
But they picked up a lot more 9mm casings
Yes,
than the round, obviously, that took your son's life.
that is correct.
And the only way to show, now allegedly your son had an AR-15.
Correct.
Huh.
But my son didn't have a gun.
But allegedly they were in a fist fight whenever they started shooting each other.
That is correct. Supposedly.
Have you ever heard of anyone going with an AR-15 to get in a fist fight?
No, man.
I wonder how hard it would be to grapple with someone while you're trying to shoot them with a long rifle.
Right.
Because that's the casings they retrieved from the scene belong to an AR-15. That's in the documents right there in front of you.
Right, which was
In your
located
son's
on the
case.
scene.
Right. So, your son supposedly got in a fist fight with Donald, who was in possession of a 9mm.
That is correct.
Got in a fist fight with your son while your son had an AR-15. That doesn't make no sense.
Not at all.
But then again, a lot of this doesn't make sense.
Nothing.
I can't really respond to chat and stuff, and I apologize for that because we're doing this interview live. This is Jerrick Holder Family. This is his mother and his aunt. His mother's name is Ashley. His aunt's name is Desiree, right? Must say Desiree.
I answered to both.
Okay, I'm terrible with names.
Okay.
And we are discussing his homicide. Now, let's go back to the evidence that was collected in your son's case. Because all of that evidence came with sworn statements, correct?
Correct.
And you got all of that back finally in documentation from the prosecuting attorney and the police department, correct?
Finally.
Okay.
Long time.
Now, if you don't mind, go ahead and miracle statement should be turned sideways.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's a miracle stated that Nick told Brianna that they needed to go because Hank was shot. She
Hank
stated,
is,
my son.
yes, Jerry.
Yes, Hank is Jerry. And Miracle stated that Nick told Brianna that they needed to go because Hank Donald gang name and Hank was a Crip gang name. She stated that they were beefing with each other. Miracle stated that she heard Donald hollering for help. Miracle stated that she stayed with Donald until the officers arrived. Until the officer made it there. She stated that Hank had an AR with long bullets.
An AR rifle with long bullets,
Yes.
which matches the 223 casings,
Correct.
100%. But the thing is I don't understand, and forgive me for if I'm being ignorant in this, but it's hard to believe that someone would go fist fight someone with an AR-15 in their hand. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like a long rifle, you shoot from a distance. You don't walk up to someone with an AR-15 and like you do with a 9mm hand weapon. Does that make sense?
Yes.
A 9mm hand weapon would be easily and readily accessible if you were in a fist fight.
Yes.
An AR would not. It's a long rifle. Jerrick was shot underneath, oh, I'm so sorry, I bumped it, underneath the left breast.
Yes.
The bullet went upwards through the bottom part of his heart, through his lung, and then it lodged in his spine.
Yes.
How was he close enough to Donald with an AR-15 in a hand fight to be shot like that. Because the gun was lower and aiming kind of upwards. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense to me. But then again, none of this,
Right.
and that's what we're getting to right now. Do you have the audio of Burchard pulled up?
Yeah.
Oh, before we get into that though, I'll tell you what, play that and then we're gonna talk about the arrest warrants.
You want the whole video?
Just the audio. Yeah, we're doing the audio so people can hear it over the Bluetooth if you don't mind. This, we got a child. This is Officer Burchard talking with Miss Ashley.
Okay, so is the case open or I'm sure of. But where they coming from, how they get in?
Can we turn off that part? The lights and effects? And just do audio, or does it automatically do that?
Okay, so what about the videos that the girl, right, so to the prosecutor, he said that he gonna give it to y'all.
Oh, one thing like that. The video, when me and Grace and them had the video of the girl explaining how things happen.
Yes.
Okay, even on the video, remember, and I can play it back to you, she said, hey, shot him, and he shot hey.
Not on the video that I have.
Yeah. Well, I mean, same one y'all see me sitting in the office.
Okay. She called and stayed, and I asked her, I said, what happened?
We write all this stuff up.
I know.
In and out of it. We have no prosecutor. Prosecutors going to
The prosecutors, and I'm telling you what they're telling me, I'm frustrated, just like you here, Right. Right, you didn't say that. I just want to know to my baby. You know, which will make us, I want to be in that closet and that. So I looked at her for every
Can we pause for just a second? The Bluetooth speaker has a special effects thing on it. Can we turn those lights and the water part off? Hold on just a second, you guys. I apologize. Yeah, we'll just pause right there. Can we turn the lights off and the water effect and leave the Bluetooth speaker on? Is that possible? Oh no.
I think so.
Okay.
Your phone should be loud enough.
Okay.
You want me to
Yeah,
turn
your
the phone?
yeah. Let's stick with your phone because that is so. The water sound is drowning it out, and this is one of the most important things is a phone call. Super important. And while we're playing during the live stream, also to my channel so that you can review them, and I will be editing this video into sections and possibly overlaying the sound from the other ones eventually. I made you lose it. I'm so sorry. There we go. You can come over here. There we go.
I had to leave my house where I paid $7.75 to go and stay somewhere else because. We're so sorry.
No, you're fine. It's my fault if I hadn't. If I'd known about the water effect, I wouldn't have.
It's okay. It's okay. God is good.
That's a really cool speaker, though. I like that. If the water element didn't keep making that noise, it would be perfect.
Yeah, it would.
I could have brought my rocket. I don't know why I didn't. But then I forgot my notebook too, so. All right, here we go.
This is what I'm saying, because I'm just not up to asking about my son's autopsy report. And is the case open
Okay,
or
so
closed?
who gave you the autopsy report?
Michael just gave it to me.
Okay, you know why?
Why?
We don't have it. He went in the system and printed it off for you.
Okay, so is the case open or closed, Bouchard?
Barnum?
He's talking to Officer Varner now.
Yes.
An affidavit.
Tell her what happened to the first affidavit.
They declined all of them.
Who declined?
Who the?
Prosecuting attorney.
Okay, so
There you go.
so what about the videos that
The girl?
of the girl I took to the prosecutor
What
office?
happened to her?
He said that he gonna give it to y'all.
Oh, one thing at a time. The video, when me and Grace and them had the videos of the girl explaining how things happen.
Yes.
Okay, even on the video, remember, and when I can play it back to you, she said Hank shot him and he shot Hank. Yes, she did.
Not on the video that I have.
Yeah. Well, I mean, same one y'all see me sitting in the office.
We gave you two of them.
Okay.
The second one that she called, she said that Nick had shot and killed my child. That was the very last one that she called and stated. And I asked her, I said, what happened?
We write all this stuff up in an affidavit. Okay. Send it to the prosecutor. We have no prosecutorial powers.
But the prosecutor, they've been going to the prosecutor office and they've been saying that they don't have.
And I'm just telling you what they're telling me. I'm frustrated just like you is, Bouchard. We're all
I'm not
frustrated.
against you. Because at the end of the day, we did not.
We didn't say that. I just want to know what happened to my
I'm
baby.
gonna rewind it.
I know you do.
Yeah, go ahead just a
I'm gonna
second.
rewind it. When he said he didn't kill my child, I never asked him that.
Okay. Send it to the prosecutor. We have no prosecutorial powers.
But the prosecutors, they've been going to the prosecutor office and they've been saying that they don't have.
And I'm just telling you what they're telling me. I'm frustrated just like you is, Bouchard. We're all
I'm not
frustrated.
against you. Because at the end of the day, we did not do anything to your kids.
We didn't say that. I just want to know what happened to my baby.
Honest, I know you do. You're a mother.
Yeah.
You should want to know.
There was 3,
I
4
understand.
people in that car with him that we died.
And how ain't nobody, they all went, they all did that together.
Okay, all we can do is write up an affidavit, and we send it in to the prosecutor. He's sitting there telling you
When I went out,
that they denied. Did they not?
they said they don't have anything. They telling us they don't have
The last time we
anything.
went up there, we took the video recorders up there.
Because they told us
He
they
said
didn't have
that he
anything.
brought up to you guys. Now, this is what he's telling me. I'm telling you what this man telling me, Bouchard. And he said he brought him up to y'all, and he said that you said you cannot do nothing with it.
We don't even have the authority to do anything.
That's what, and he's saying that he's not allowed.
I don't know why people just won't say what they're going to do.
And I went to, we've been going.
Well, if they say, hey,
They say it's on
listen,
you.
if they tell you,
That is not true. I've taken.
He said that he has not told me everything is on you, Bouchard.
I took one
That's
to
what that man
office
just told me.
and then I've taken one to
Well,
them since they become.
I ain't even saying a word.
Both of them denied it.
okay, I ain't even
They said
saying
two
a
people
word.
killed each other. That's all I'm saying.
I'm letting you hear what he does.
Okay, so is the case open or closed? What is going on?
I can close it. The only thing
It's
we
still open.
keep open if I sent them another affidavit, and I'll do that for you. They're going to decline it too.
Send it regardless.
And I can make them write on there.
A reason why they did not.
And can I get that paperwork, please?
No, you can't.
So I can't get it. Yeah or no?
That's an affidavit.
So I'm
man.
sending them an affidavit. And after they
You
decline
can
it,
get after they decline it, but
Right. That's what I'm saying.
yeah, you would be getting something that precedes even law enforcement.
Because I'm just saying he's studied putting everything on you.
I don't care. Let them.
That's why I wasn't one. I didn't even reached out to the state.
They ain't gonna do nothing like that.
I know because they told me that the prosecutor have to get them.
Who did they say?
The prosecutor.
prosecutor.
And when I said something, when I mentioned that to him today, he said, well, he told me that it's not in his hand. He said it's in your hand. He said he cannot do nothing about nothing.
Okay, well, there again, I will tell you this. You can believe what you want to believe.
I'm not believing nothing. I'm just trying to get down to the bottom of it.
Well,
He
I'm
telling me one
already
thing,
in.
you telling me another.
and I'm gonna keep coming. I'm gonna keep coming.
So I don't care. I mean, I'm gonna keep telling you.
I don't either.
I'm gonna keep telling you the same thing, and the reason why I'm gonna keep telling you the same thing because I can stand up. I can stand on what's right.
Well, I'm just doing what I gotta do as a mother. I'm just doing what I gotta do as a mother.
The prosecutor is the one.
And the prosecutor keeps saying it is you.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm done with it. Yeah. That's it. Yeah, because it. Come on, we know. Because I keep telling you.
This is whenever he pushes y'all out of the building.
Yeah, he pushed us out. He put us out.
And if they deny it, I want it in writing this time. Why you deny it?
Right.
Okay, a prosecutor, hell, you can come and Google. A prosecutor is the only one.
I know that.
That can prosecute.
I know that, Bruce.
You ought to know he's telling a damn lie.
Did he just say Michael Ladd was telling a damn lie?
Yes.
Man, if you ain't gonna do
Huh.
nothing, just tell
Go
me.
figure. The prosecuting
I can
attorney.
live with that, and I'll go fuck him. I'm gonna keep passing the book back and forth.
Because that's what we
That's the truth.
Thank you. That's all we want.
Give me closure. Tell me the truth.
That's what we want.
That's all I can do.
That's
I
what
mean,
we
hell, I
want.
can't make the law. Only the prosecutor can prosecute. I can't do nothing.
All right. I already got the last.
You got what I'm saying? Well, at least you already have it with. I'll tell you the truth. Wondering if bad for your son or good.
I just want to know. Well, like I said, if it happened like that, you know what I'm saying? I'm saying.
I ain't just telling you the same thing.
I'm not gonna say lies, but if I started going back to the same thing over and over again, what am I supposed to do as a mother? I can't even lay down and
I
rest.
understand with you, but what I can't seem to get you to understand is all I can tell you is what I've done. I can't do it. He said this guy shot this guy. This guy shot this guy. That's it. Hell!
But there was evidence. There was evidence.
Only the prosecutor can take the case before the jury.
There was a recorded statement where what the suspect actually said what happened to my
When I
child.
send this affidavit, what the least I can do is call you and say, Bonnie has take care of it. Would that suffice? But that's all I can do. I can't give you the affidavit. You see what I'm saying? But at least I can tell you, on this day right here, we ain't over there with the affidavit. But they can't tell the damn lie that we didn't take nothing over there. That's the best I can do.
So we'll know when we get the copy if they do decline this time. When we
They
get
just
the
need to
copy,
write a reason
yeah,
why they declined.
the reason.
That's all. Be a man.
Like nothing.
Be a man. Be a man and say, hey, y'all. The decline of the additional notice, whether y'all like it or don't like it.
Yeah, we just want closure.
Be a man.
That's it. It happened like
If
this.
you was honest with me, well, I
You know?
don't want to get nobody involved in it that ain't him. But the point is, I just feel like they should just be truthful and say, because to say, because we sent that girl tape over there, we sent the report, okay, we
And
checked.
he told us that he didn't have the child nothing. And he didn't have not one piece of paper. They don't even have a case file. That's what he telling me. He keep coming back. Why would they keep doing? Why?
Let me show y'all what we sent over. Let's do that.
And this is him pushing you out of the building.
He pushed me out the building and asked me to come back in.
Oh,
Yeah. Now we're back
That's
in
wild.
the office. Yeah, he be back in the office after he told us to get out.
We don't go back and forth right with him. He's sick of this and that. And what got real mad today.
That's it for that one.
okay. You can sit back down if you like. Now, the problem with all this being is that whenever you finally got your son's case record back, and
And Nicholas Henderson
Nicholas Henderson
and Marcellus Perkins.
and Marcellus those
There was
records.
also another kid in there, but she was underage. I think she was 16.
Uh-huh. Now, in there, I do believe I turned it sideways so you could find it more easily. There her fingerprints and stuff, but there's also a pink page in those documents,
Yeah.
the federal ones. Can you pull up the FBI paperwork
Sure.
with the She was charged with conspiracy.
That is correct. She was charged with conspiracy and contribute to a delinquency of a minor.
And when we say charged, we mean that Burchard actually sent arrest affidavits to Michael Ladd.
Yes, for her to be arrested, but I think they might have arrested her, but let her out like 5 minutes later just to put it on the paper.
Right. But you have those arrest affidavits,
Yes.
but what's missing off of all of them? They were never filed with the court.
Yes, they were never, no signatures, no
Dates, no seals, no stamps, no nothing. They're just printed. They're printed.
Yep.
And if you read them, and I will be releasing these to the public, with Miss Ashley's consent. But in these records, it tells 3 different stories. Each one of them gave a different story, but there is a key piece of evidence that you have that is unknown
Yes.
in a phone call.
Yes, I actually have 3 videos
Uh-huh.
where she's confessed it and told exactly what happened. I turned it into the chief, turned it into the prosecutor office. They looked at it, listened to it, still nothing.
But we just heard Burchard say that he sent the recording over there, and you corrected him and said, no, I gave you 2 recordings of her.
Exactly.
And he said he had already sent the one,
Yes.
but he didn't verify the second one.
Exactly.
Okay, so now there's this whole back and forth going on between Michael Ladd, the prosecuting attorney,
Yes.
and the chief of police, Burchard, involving your son's homicide.
That is correct.
They are basically sitting there saying they shot each other. They killed each other. But the injuries to your son were so catastrophic that it would, forgive me if I'm being ignorant here, but there's no medical way he would have been able to walk with a bullet lodged in his spine and his heart pierced.
Yes, that is correct.
He couldn't have even made it back to the car.
Yes. I talked to the medical examiner, the one that examined his body, and she stated that my son would have not lived past 3 minutes. He was not going to make it.
Right, with that extent of an injury to his heart especially, and he would have been paralyzed because of the bullet lodged in his spine.
He didn't have a fighting chance.
He didn't have fight.
He
I'm
didn't
so
have a fighting
sorry.
chance.
I'm
He
so
didn't have a fighting.
That you were also told that he was shot inside the vehicle.
That is correct. On the autopsy report, because like I said, the police department had led me and my family to believe that my son and another kid had killed each other. Once I got the autopsy report back, which was a year later, it stated that my son was killed sitting in a non-moving vehicle.
In a non-moving vehicle.
That is correct.
Wow. And that would be very easily proven that he was shot either at close range or that he fired an AR rifle if what were in that box? The red hoodie.
Exactly.
The red hoodie is what's missing,
Yes.
which would verify that if it had gone down like they said, that he got in a fist fight with Donald and shot him, there would be GSR regardless
Yes.
on the sweater, but there would also be GSR and would identify that he was shot at close range.
Yes.
But the coroner's report says he was shot in a non-moving vehicle.
That is correct.
So how was he shot in a non-moving vehicle fighting with the boy with a 9mm gun in the other boy's hand while your son had an AR-15? And there are multiple rounds from both weapons. We've got the reports and we'll be uploading them later.
Okay.
But there was many rounds.
Yes.
How are that many? But your son died from one.
One gunshot wound.
And there are no
bullet
bullet holes in that car.
nowhere.
Nowhere.
Anywhere.
but there are bullet casings all over the ground on Martin Luther King Boulevard in Fort. But they're on Franklin Street where your son was shot, and he was shot inside the car. Now the 9mm was recovered.
Correct. They said they recovered the gun. They said when they got to the scene, they found the gun laying under Donald Williams. Correct.
It was under him.
Correct.
Now, but the weapon that's missing from the crime scene would be the AR-15 that your son allegedly shot Mr. Williams with.
That is correct. Which Nicholas stated that night, saying that he threw the gun in the river.
Threw the gun in the river.
Yes.
Okay, and that's what brings me to this part right here, because it ties into the back and forth fighting between Burchard and Ladd during your son's homicide investigation.
Yes.
Can you pull the video up with where you recorded Michael Ladd and what he had to say on the case?
The mother for disposing of weapons after the crime. I know.
Now, in the beginning, he was stating that the mother that he was going to charge with the crime was Nicholas Henderson's mother.
Because
she was the one that disposed the gun.
Of the gun.
Yeah,
okay.
That is correct.
Okay.
Why she didn't catch obstructing government operations or
And this is Michael Ladd
Yes.
speaking to you.
Prosecutor Michael Ladd, located in Fort City, Arkansas.
It appears from the statements that we have that, well, let me tell you what I think it looks like, not what they say it looks like. What the young lady describes in here, and I know you think she's older, but 24 is young to me, describes in here could not have occurred, okay? That was just some fantasy story she made up. It doesn't match any of the facts. And so, obviously,
Could you pause that for a second?
how do you say her?
It doesn't match any of the facts according to Michael Ladd, but Burchard put it in his affidavit.
Correct.
Make it make sense.
It doesn't.
Okay, continue.
Brianna, I guess.
Right. Okay. Is obviously not a credible witness. What it appears is that she, and this is just what I see from looking at it, reading between the lines. It appears she asked this Donald Williams fellow to come over to this house. Now, whether or not, I can't read her mind, they didn't interview enough people to know what all was going on, yada, yada, yada. I don't know why she would have done that. It could have been for the purposes of seeing a fight. My mama used to tell me all the time growing up, some women like to see blood. They just like to see me fight. Stay the hell away from them. Did she want to see that, or was she want something else? I don't know. But obviously she was involved in getting Donald Williams over there. After that, it starts to get confusing from what we got.
Could you pause it?
Number of guns.
There's paperwork over there from the Federal Bureau of Investigation to be turned over to them to charge her with conspiracy to commit murder.
Correct.
Because it is a federal crime.
Correct.
But the paperwork was never filed to the FBI.
Correct.
Okay, continue, please. Thank you.
Gunshot wound Mr. Williams suffered was, we counted 7.
So he was
They
shot
got
7
him full
times.
holes.
Yes.
And I'm going to assume more than one person was pulling the trigger when that happened. That's what.
Wait. Can we go back and replay that?
He said it was one person, more than one person that pulled the trigger. I'm about to rewind it.
That is Michael Ladd, the prosecuting attorney, saying that more than one person pulled the trigger.
I'm going to assume more than one person was pulling the trigger when that happened.
I'm going to assume more than one
That's what
person
it
was
looks
pulling the
like.
trigger when that
It looks
happened.
like he pulled the gun, and whoever was in the house, and I'm not even positive who that was. We know there were 3 of them that we had the names of, but we don't know that that was everybody. But it looks like they opened up on him and just shot him full of holes. Now,
Which means there would have had to have been
you're
multiple
interested in Jerick,
15s because that's what he was
correct?
killed with,
Jerrick.
Okay.
allegedly.
He got shot 1 time in the chest, correct?
Mm.
And
In the park.
well, that's what see, that nobody says that except for that was one of the, there's a lot of weird shit about this, but that's weird. Okay, nobody says that anywhere in here except for the ME. And so some cop had to write that down on something that they submitted to the ME.
Submit what to the ME?
When you take any piece of evidence, whether it's a body, a gun, or a bag of drugs, down to the ME, or excuse me, down to the crime lab, they have a submission section where you take it all into, and you fill out a form, and it has other comments or something below it. And sometimes if the officers have knowledge of how high-speed accident, whatever, they'll write down there so that the ME will have at least a starting point when he's looking at stuff. And that's, I'll just read it to you. You'll see what I'm talking about.
So this case was not only botched, but it sounds like there's a true conspiracy to conceal what actually happened here.
Yeah,
Evidence is missing.
most definitely 3 pieces of
This is
it.
his opinion.
Pieces that would definitively
Which is
speak on what happened.
part of the ME's report. That's what we actually use. In consideration of the circumstances of death and after autopsy of the body, it is the opinion, that's the wrong one. This is based upon information provided by Forest City Police Department. So somebody at the Forest City PD told the ME something.
Okay, police department, the coroner, the coroner, and they also said from their findings,
Right.
it looks like, from all of what they gathered.
Now it says was reportedly shot by another individual
Yes.
while sitting in a parked vehicle outside
Exactly.
the residence.
Exactly. Yes.
But
But at first,
that's not what they found. That's
and it's
not.
not what y'all been saying for the
Yeah,
last 10 months. Y'all
that's
been
not
saying
what
that
happened.
they killed each other, and they did not kill each other.
We've been saying it since
They did not kill each other.
They did not kill each other.
And at the end of the day, was my son even placed on that scene? Was he even there?
Yeah, he was absolutely
because
there.
if he, okay, how do y'all know he was there?
Because everybody says he was.
No. Everybody can't say nothing from that ankle monitor. He had the ankle monitor. Y'all need to pull those records and see what that ankle monitor says where he was at.
Hold on.
Pause that for a second.
It's connected to him.
And we are fixing to get into the ankle monitor even further because that plays a very important part in all of this. Continue.
Sure is.
And
And it's not in the report either. And what he got shot with is not up in there either.
yeah, now that's something that just came up. One of these other kids that are young men that were there got caught with a 9mm on him Friday, and
That is Nicholas Henderson that he's talking about.
Nicholas Henderson, which was
The
one of the suspects that their arrest warrant affidavit written up for right there.
And he never got arrested,
He's never been arrested. That's never even been before a
It's never
judge.
been processed. Never been filed.
That's never been filed, correct?
The crime lab.
Who was there?
I don't know which one it was. They just called me and said one of the
Hey,
suspects
Connie.
in this got a 9 on him. We sent it down to the crime lab. We got bullet fragments. to have it compared to the bullet.
So I don't even know what my son got hit with.
We don't either. It went through and through.
It didn't go through and through. No, it did not.
Hold up a second. You have a medical examiner's report right over there that says they recovered the one bullet that killed your son. That they have it on the autopsy. I seen it with my own eyes.
But it's not in there.
But the bullet is not in the evidence or anywhere else. It just grew legs and walked off.
Yes, it's not there.
Okay, continue because this is getting to the important part.
It did not come exactly. It didn't even come out.
It didn't come out.
Yeah, it didn't come out. It went through his heart. It landed right there before his spine. He did not have no exit on him. No, he did not. No, sir. I don't know.
He most certainly did not. That's in the autopsy.
Y'all better get it right. Because this is not right. This is not right. Something is not right. And at the end of the day, I'm gonna keep coming and coming and coming.
Well, ma'am, that's
I'm behind my child. I'm coming for everybody.
Right. If you don't shut up, we're going to meeting. Okay? I ain't come up here to give.
Did he just tell you to shut up?
Because there's too many lies.
Yeah.
I've been lying like these kids that killed each other for the last 10 months, going on 11.
You wanna know what happened?
Keep lies. I've been lying like these kids that killed each other for the last 10 months, going on 11.
You wanna know what happened? Your kid was on the porch with these other guys who shot this boy full of bullet holes is what happened.
Okay, was he in the porch or was
He said my kid.
Whoa, whoa.
He was just on the porch.
Whoa, he was on the porch
You know,
and shot that other boy. They shot that other boy full of bullet holes.
listen.
Now, how did he go from the porch to the car with a bullet lodged in his spine and his heart punctured from the bullet and internal bleeding straight from his heart into his lung? I'm telling you right now, and it says it in the medical. You talked to the actually
the medical examiner.
the medical
I
examiner.
spoke with her.
How long did they tell you? Because from the research I did, it said 2 minutes. But what did they tell you about that injury? How long it would take him to die?
I asked her, does she know how long did he lived or how long he would have lived or would he have made it? And she stated that didn't have a fighting chance. She said that he would have not lived past 3 minutes.
The research I did said too. So that's par. That's on par. It would have been just minutes.
It's close.
Not enough time with a bullet lodged in his back to get in that car.
You wanna know what?
Guys, I've been lying like these kids that killed each other for the last 10 months. It didn't come out. It went, what's going on with my child's case, but y'all better get it right. Because this is not right. This is not right. Something is not right. And at the end of the day, I'm going to keep coming and coming and coming.
Well, ma'am, that's
I'm behind my child. I'm coming for everybody.
If you don't shut up, we're going to meeting. Okay? I ain't come up here.
He told me if I don't shut up, that he's going to end the meeting with me.
Michael Ladd.
I'm just letting you know because it's
Michael Ladd just told Jerick's mother in this interview that if she didn't shut up, he was going to end the meeting. This is the kind of abuse families are having to go through at the hand of a prosecuting attorney, and they're being given the runaround. Please continue.
so many lies. Y'all been lying like these kids that killed each other for the last 10 months, going on 11.
You wanna know what happened? Your kid was on the porch with these other guys who shot this boy full of bullet holes is what happened.
Okay, was he in the porch or was he running to the car? Which one is it? Because so many stories. I don't know what
I don't
happened.
know. I didn't see whoever was running to a car.
That's what I'm saying. They told me that he ran up on the boy. So which one is it? So who killed my child then?
Apparently, Mr. Williams, when he
How
got
did
out
he
of
kill
his
him?
car
Ain't
and
no way.
shot.
Ain't no way.
He can't kill him if he.
Okay, so was he on the porch or was he at the car?
Jerick was on the porch.
Okay, so if he was on the porch and everybody else
Where's
was
the bullet holes in the house?
then how he
Donald Williams was parked in the driveway and the
Exactly.
car pulled out a gun, stepped outside of the vehicle, fired one round in the air, and then lowered the pistol and
Why
fired
would he
another
step
round.
out the car and fire a gun at them?
And they shoot.
That's impossible.
And they shoot him.
Pause. That's impossible. Your son was shot
On the left side.
on the left side of the body, and he was shot, and the bullet went through him at an angle. That's impossible.
Yeah, and basically, because in the beginning they tried to make it seem like my son is the one that initiated it. But Michael Ladd just said that Donald got out the car and shot it in the
and
air.
shot it in the air.
I also have paperwork where Nicholas Henderson stated that Donald initiated.
Right.
He said that Donald shot my child
Yes.
first.
Yes.
I have paper on that.
All right, but continue
Okay.
with that. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
You're doing wonderful.
Thank you.
All right, let's hear the rest of that with Michael Ladd.
I'm being aggressive. It don't make no sense. None of
None of
this
these homicides ever make any sense. It's young people who lose control of their emotions and they got guns on them. I mean, that's just the bottom line on that.
Okay. But we know they didn't kill each other, though. Yeah, they know it, too. We know. We know
Here's
that.
the thing. I agree.
It wasn't a proper investigation at all.
That we don't have to even argue about.
It wasn't a proper
Oh, pause.
He said he agreed with me.
That is Michael Ladd on recording agreeing that this case was not investigated properly. Continue.
They didn't get no forensics. They didn't get no fingerprint, no gun resident for my child. How I know if my child shot that boy? I want to know everything about my child.
I would too. They didn't chase the woman down who had the guns and get the guns.
She-
They didn't get a search warrant for her house and go search the house. They didn't do any of that stuff.
Hold it right there.
Then I got
They didn't chase the woman down who had the guns, which means they watched her walk off that scene with the murder weapon and didn't stop her.
Yes. Now.
Oh, my sweet Jesus.
Now, the woman that they're talking about is Nicholas' mother. She was on the scene that night when my son was dying.
Which is who Lab was talking about in the beginning of this recording.
Exactly.
Talking about
the
she should have been
mother-
charged with obstruction
Yes.
and tampering with evidence.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Continue.
Yes, ma'am.
He was in there with 3 people,
But I
Nick,
can't go
Brianna,
back
and
to
Marcellus.
I can only.
All of them was there when those kids got
And
killed.
that
Even
minor.
if they did pull the trigger, they still was there when it happened. So why is they free?
They know what happened.
Because one thing about it, if I'm somewhere and they get killed, guess what? That's on me. Whether we all participated in
It's
it.
not.
Yes, it is. So,
If you knew how many cases we've been losing if we're
I want
trying
to
to
know
get people
if my
to
child was
convict
there.
people on that
I
kind
want to know
of
if my
evidence.
child was there. And that's why I'm finna get that acre month of paper.
Where was the
'Cause
body
I want to
found?
know. My baby body was 5 blocks away from the other boy body.
That's more
in the
than
car
That's
with,
more than
Brianna and Nick.
And Marcellus. Don't worry about it. Like I said, because I'm going to get that acre month of paper because I want to know even if my child, was my child even
I
there?
can get it.
Well, I need it.
Yeah,
I
they
need it.
want to They might get the Yeah, we because
I don't want to call this closed yet.
no, this
Look,
The one thing we agree on, there are too many unanswered questions.
Right.
That's something we agree on absolutely.
too many.
And I would like more answers. And the cops are just going to have to try to dig a little deeper, is all I can say, and try to find me something I can work with. I don't know why we don't arrest this woman and squeeze on her.
The arrest warrant's right there. Pause it. There's an arrest warrant right there.
Correct.
He didn't file it with the judge.
That is correct. I don't know what date it was stated on that arrest warrant for Brianna Holland, but this video here was recorded October the 10th, 2023 at 11:08 a.m. Is it the affidavit we're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
The affidavit paper with the girl Miracle on there. What date?
It's not dated.
Oh.
It's not dated, remember, because they never filed it through the court.
Absolutely.
It's missing. All the filing information is missing because Michael had
Oh, yeah.
no service, no nothing.
No.
Those are arrest warrants sent by Brashard to Michael Ladd
Yes.
that were never presented to a judge.
Yes.
Okay.
Her ass in here and see if we can't get her to name names and tell.
They had already charged her. And what woman is you talking about? Brianna.
The guy. The lady drove
You
off
talking
with
about
the
Big
guns.
Mama.
Yeah, the lady drove
The
off.
The mama.
The mama would never know who paperwork.
They let her walk away with the gun.
Yeah, she don't want to hit the
She
guns.
knows something. She knows who
They all tamper with it. Brianna, Nick, why is they going around a suspect?
They tell me went to court. They
We
tell
gotta
me
get one of them cracked.
They all did it. They even tamper with it. Nick, they tamper with my son's body.
Till one of them tells you the true story, you don't get it.
Had something to do with both of them.
I mean, who finna tell you the actual truth about what they did? If I kill somebody, I'm not finna tell you that I
Well,
did
that's
it.
why you gotta get somebody who didn't do the killing. I agree with you about
I'm
that
not,
too.
who does that?
Well, you need to
Be serious.
start with Marcellus because he told me that Nick killed Donald. When I went over there at night.
He sure shot him full of a whole bunch of holes.
Well, he told me, he said, I'm going
So you know he shot her with a bunch full of holes.
And then he laughing about it.
He just laughed.
He laughed after he said that Nick
Shot
that
Donald
boy with full
of
of
holes.
holes and laughed. He
And
knows.
laughed. They know.
They
He
know.
just said it.
He said
just
it.
said it. They have all of the information, all of the evidence. The reason justice is not being done here, we're fixing to get to that.
Exactly.
But let's finish this up real quick, and we're going to explain why none of this, there are no answers, and there is no justice for Jerrick Holder. Continue.
Love you, Hank.
But y'all ain't doing nothing about it.
Yeah, Marcellus told me Nick killed Donald that night. It's what he told me that night.
And I don't know who standing on the porch killed Donald. I really don't.
The only person who was standing on the porch was Nick. He was on the person
The
supposed to be standing on the
legal
porch.
person in here, this one young lady, says that all of them had guns. And she actually feels like she's telling a story that might exist in the world we live in.
And she probably was the killer.
Because the autopsy
Yeah, it's
report,
a third statement from Brown.
yeah, she had 3 4.
Yeah,
She had too many.
Yeah.
Too many different ones. At that.
I don't know. Look, all I can tell you is this. Meeting with my boss tomorrow, taking this one and another one from Monroe County, get him a look at them. I will get on the leg monitor. That's something I can actually concrete promise you I can do. I will get on that immediately.
His whereabouts.
And
We know about that,
see
don't we?
what that has to say. And at bare minimum, it should track him. I mean,
It's gonna track.
It is gonna track.
It's gonna track.
Everywhere he go, everywhere he went, it tracked him.
It was on the
Yeah,
screen.
it did.
So
It did. I know it did.
we'll get that and look at it because I mean the part about ending up on that street because of a blowout didn't make any sense.
No.
I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
and
if
you
they
could've
were
went
taking
straight to the hospital.
Why didn't they take him to the
Why y'all
hospital?
Stay all the way down the road.
Why y'all go that way?
Yeah,
Exactly.
I agree with all that.
You know
because
why?
they said they were getting in there to take him to the hospital.
Yeah,
But y'all in the opposite way.
And went the wrong way.
Exactly.
All of them did. All of them said that. That don't
Like I
make
said,
no
this
sense
even if
like
my
that.
child was at the scene. One thing about it, my child had to hang up once on his.
Okay. Now, the reason the ankle monitor is so important is because your son was in a vehicle with 2 adult males, correct?
That is correct.
And your son was in the backseat passenger, I do believe.
Yes, he was riding with someone that he got caught up in a traffic stop or.
They got pulled over. The
Yes.
police pulled the driver, the other adult person, and your minor son over in the vehicle.
Yes, that is correct.
And
He was 16 during this time.
your son was 16, correct? And during this traffic stop, there were guns found in the vehicle.
That is correct.
And none of those guns belonged to your son, did they?
That is correct.
And the person that owned the guns claimed possession of the guns at that time, correct?
Correct.
And your son was arrested on gun charges
Correct.
whenever he didn't have possession of a gun.
Correct.
And due to the circumstances around involving that, your son ended up with an ankle monitor. But there was never one issued to him.
Exactly. He got caught up in July with that incident. We went to court September the 6th. The judge told me to go get a lawyer. She actually continued it until November the 15th. Between September the 6th and September the 14th, that's when the Forces Police Department came to my home and put the ankle monitor on my child's legs, which had nothing to do with the charge they called back in July.
Right. And that ankle monitor would prove down to inches where your son was.
Yes.
It would show his exact location. I mean, it's so with that ankle monitor on, they're supposed to be monitoring his whereabouts at all times,
What he's
anyways.
doing. They didn't give me no instructions. He didn't have a curfew. I actually sent them away to Atlanta, Georgia, with the ankle monitor on. Right before he got killed. I've never signed for that ankle monitor. They actually came into my home, Detective Andrea Hall, 2 other polices, and a lady from an ankle monitor company came into my home, placed the ankle monitor on my son's leg. Like I said, he never got in trouble. He never was sentenced for the charge back in July, so he really didn't have a record.
Right.
They came into my home, placed the ankle monitor on my child's leg, and I got to ask the questions like, where is the paperwork? Because I had not one piece of paper. The paper I have in my hand now is by the grace of God. I was supposed to have this, but I do. I never got any paperwork. I didn't even sign for the ankle monitor.
Because the ankle monitor was not sentenced by the court.
That is correct. At once they put the ankle monitor on my son's leg, I actually got a lawyer, Jennifer Collins. And she stated to me that the judge said that she didn't put that ankle monitor on my son's leg and she's not going to remove it. I also have messages between me and her saying those exact words.
Okay. And we're going to upload that video too later. But right now, what I want to get to is that ankle monitor holds a lot of weight. And we don't know what weight that ankle monitor holds. But if you wouldn't mind pulling up that last one from Michael Ladd about the ankle monitor.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. That the ankle monitor, which everyone you're fixing to hear, the ankle monitor situation is exactly why Jerick, Ashley, and his entire family are not getting any justice, and you're fixing to hear it for yourselves from Michael Ladd's own mouth. The prosecuting attorney of Forest City, Arkansas, is going to say some things, and I'm going to warn you guys. This is some of the most egregious things I have ever heard said to a family outside of Troy Strope's family. And this is Michael Ladd having a conversation with Ashley, Jerick's mother.
All right, here we go.
Okay, so this girl who said Nicholas shot your son, is she saying there were 2 other shooters and not just one?
What do you mean? Yeah, she is. Yeah, they will say it was so many different stories.
Yeah, fast forward.
So now, recording. I already got on the phone several times.
Investigator.
The investigator is.
Yeah, sometimes it takes them forever, but if it's back, yeah, I can get a hold of it.
Okay, well, you need to get a hold to that because I know for a fact that my son was murdered. For one, before my son got killed, they violated my son's rights. Miss Detective Hall.
Yeah, well, look, and when you get into that stuff is where you're losing your cops. Once you start talking about that crap, nobody's going to help you, okay? That's just a fact. So,
Talking about what stuff?
I need you to stop talking about that and talk about what we were just talking about. This girl who saw it, who's told you that it didn't happen the way that it happened. That they say it happened. Okay? Stick to that part of the story. Once you get off into them violating your son's rights.
Okay, we're back live again. Sorry about that. We're going to go back just a moment in the recording and keep playing it. Sorry about that, you guys. We lost signal for a second there.
And you're good. Okay? Stick to that part of the story. Once you get off.
That's fine.
Say it happened. Okay? Stick to that part of the story. Once you get off into them violating your son's rights, everybody in this system is just closing down their ears. They don't want to hear it. We hear it 5,000 times a day. And you're going to lose all your audience if you do that, okay? And you don't want to do that. You want some justice for your son, right?
Correct.
Okay, so let's stick with it. They've got the investigation wrong. I've got a witness. I've got tapes. I've turned them over, and let's go from there. Okay? And I'm going to get a hold of those tapes, and I'm going to go talk to Broussard about this, all right?
Okay.
All right. And holler back at me again. Give me a couple days. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Talk to you then.
So you were told by the prosecuting attorney of Forest City, Arkansas, Michael Ladd, that you talking about the ankle monitor on your son, which would have shown your son's exact location, which would have proven
If he was there or not.
if he was there or not to begin with, but also exactly where he was standing in correlation to Donald being shot.
That is correct.
That ankle monitor, that is evidence that would prove what happened in this situation. They're more worried about you having a lawsuit because they violated your son's rights
Then get justice for my kid.
than getting justice for your kid,
And that is the very reason why I can't
who was
get
murdered,
justice for my kid, because he
who
was
was
murdered. And-
as self.
Yes. Which is absolutely not true. That wasn't my baby. That
Whenever
wasn't my
everything we're hearing back and forth between these police officers says exactly opposite. And now, if I'm not mistaken, in that autopsy report, there's no gunshot residue on your son's hand.
That is absolutely correct. I actually talked to the state examiner where she stated, and I asked her, did my baby have gun residue powder on his hand? And she stated, no, ma'am. I also have that recorded.
There's no gunshot residue. There's no gunpowder. There's no, well, we don't even know if there was gunshot residue on him because the hoodie he was wearing, that is clearly in the video that we posted yesterday, is missing. It's not in evidence. You have documentation right there ordering them to release all of his personal effects.
Yes.
You've got his bloody underwear.
Yep.
You've got a pair of pants
Yep.
that I didn't see any blood on those pants.
That's why I said those jeans isn't my son's.
Hold on a second. I apologize for
No,
this.
it's okay.
But could you please
Yeah.
hold up those pants? This is what this mother, Miss Ashley, Jerrick's mother, was given as Jerrick's personal effects. Now those are his drawers. As you can see, they're cut off and everything.
Supposedly.
Yep. Okay, so, but,
Like, I don't even believe these
So-
kids. I don't even believe these draws. Like, I know my baby.
there's blood on them. And it's tagged as evidence.
It's his blood
with his
on
name
it.
on
It's
it.
blood on it, but I don't think it's my baby's stuff.
Okay.
My baby didn't wear extra
Now
large.
pull up the pants. There's no blood on them.
No,
There's no blood on them anywhere.
no.
Hold up the front.
There's nothing.
There's no blood on those
But
pants.
how you get blood on his drawers, but not on the pants?
How do you get blood on your underwear but not your pants?
Exactly.
And where's the red hoodie?
It's not here.
And we've got the prosecuting attorney saying the reason that you're not going to get any justice for your son
Because
because you want to know about that ankle monitor that should have never been put on your son in the first
Right,
place.
and the main reason why I'm asking about the ankle monitor because I want to know if my child was there. I don't believe my kid was there. I know my baby. You know, if my son was that type of child, I would say that. I raised him right, okay? I raised him right. He knows better. My son ain't gonna put himself in a predicament to kill no one or be killed.
You've got the prosecuting attorney saying they didn't stop someone walking away with a gun from the scene. Talking about the investigation was flawed to begin with. There are arrest warrants and affidavits in your son's case, but there is no justice for Jerick. There is no justice for you as a mother.
It's not in there. There's nothing there. There's no blood there.
So, this is where I would like to both ask you. I'll start off with you, Miss Ashley, if you don't mind. Tell me what you think happened to your son in your own words.
I think I know that they killed my child because they violated his rights. I was going to get a lawyer and I was going to sue them and they knew it. I was asking questions. I was asking why and who ordered that ankle monitor because I knew when they came, I knew they no judge ordered that. I didn't even get paperwork. I didn't even sign for it. I instantly knew something was wrong. And what I think happened to my child is they killed my child and threw Donna Williams in there to make it look like what it looked like, to take the spotlight off that ankle monitor.
You know, something that I keep hearing about in Forest City, Arkansas is these cases involving CIs.
Yeah.
And allegedly, the person that was in the car with your son driving, whenever
Yes, she's an informant.
she's an informant.
They've been protecting these people since day one. When my son got killed, they sent the police to sit at Nick's mother's house.
All right. You have documented, we're going to move on to Desiree now. Desiree?
Yes, 3 years up.
You know, I'm so bad. Girl, my name's Regina. I don't even pronounce it half right half time. You documented everything.
Yes.
Every interview, every sit down, every meeting, everything.
Yes.
Would you like to elaborate on that a little bit for us?
Well, as a sibling, moving for her and doing what needed to be done. So immediately, the next day after, I went to the police station. I started calling news people. I've been calling them since he been passed, and it just, I done went up the chain ladder. We went to the mayor. We went to the NAACP. It's just like, won't nobody help us? It's like they all together. And it's like, it ain't like this is nothing we just saying. We got evidence. It's too many stuff. We got too much paperwork that don't make no sense.
Well, you have a prosecuting attorney and the chief of police who did the investigation.
Yes.
Back and forth arguing like school children, pushing the blame off on the other.
Yes. And I got documents. They got videos, but I'm just old school. I got documentation. Even, documentation of my sister calling, the ankle monitor people and the crime labs, departments, the police department. We going to the courthouses, on a daily basis. It's just like, we done got so many no's, so many pushbacks to like, we done built that wall up and you can't tear it down now. So whatever you try to throw at us, we strong enough for it because, God pushed us through that, and it was some hard days. And I ain't gonna sit on here and just say it was easy, because it wasn't none of it easy. Mm-hmm. And it still ain't easy. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's still hard. You still have your days. I still have my days where it just feels so unbelievable. I don't even feel like he gone at sometimes. And that's just something, that's just going through your mental depression. That's just grief. Grief. I ain't ashamed to say, I be depressed. I be depressed more than I've been happy, since I lost my nephew. I ain't never experienced nothing like this close. It's just, he was the heart of the family. And it's like when he left, it's like the change is broke. It's like, I got something written in here too. I wrote myself a note, when he died, how me and my siblings was acting, how it left us when he left, how my kids are, it affected us in so many ways. Death would affect you. It'll leave a major impact on you.
It will.
But what affect us the most is the way my child died. He was taken, it ain't like he was just, car accident.
It wasn't sick. It wasn't a car accident.
He was corruption.
Yeah. He was stolen.
He was stolen. He was taken. And that's a different type of pain. That's a different type of hurt. When your loved one just snatched from you, when they just take it. It's different, it's just, and I know it's a lot of mothers out there. It's a lot of people out there, that lost loved ones that, just went of natural causes, and it wasn't of accident, even though it was fatal, but you know, that was just that just we all got to go. We all got to leave this earth. We just don't know how. But that ain't how his life was taken too soon.
By
That
man.
ain't by man hand. It wasn't by God. That was by man hand. And you know, it was just he was taken too soon. He was taken before his time. It wasn't his time.
And I've seen the documents and stuff from the school, and I've read things that were written about him, and he was beloved.
Yes.
Everyone.
Yes.
He played football. He was academic.
Yes.
As the principal said, he was a leader.
Yes. And
He
he was
was-
so strong. He was real strong. He was a short, gentle giant.
But
I used to call him my shorty 40.
oh,
He was so strong. He really was.
his nickname was Nunu.
Yeah.
So how did he get the nickname Nunu? Just if you don't mind me asking.
He was actually born in Little Rock. I went in there when I was about 6.5 months. I was actually at school, and by the time the bell ring, I stood up, and my water broke. So I called my mom, hey, mom in labor, literally just like that. And I'm standing there with my feet crossed, whispering. And one of my classmates came through and said, Ashley, where you going? I thought to go home, I'm in labor. He said, you in labor? I said, yeah, I'm in labor. He said, you in labor right now? I said, yeah, I'm in labor right now. And I was actually in labor with that kid for 2 whole weeks.
Ooh-wee.
Yes. And when I say that boy didn't give me no problem from
Not even the
It
labor.
didn't even hurt me. Like, I had no issues from the day he was born.
Gentle from the get-go.
This is by far
Wow.
the biggest issue that I'd have had with that kid. He was a good kid. He was good to me and everybody else. And he weighed under 3 pounds, and I called him Noodle because he was so little and scrawny. And
Aww.
yes, I called him my little Noodle, and he went from Noodle to Noodle.
So he was born premature,
Yes,
and he faced all the odds,
yes,
and you were able to have him
yes.
up until he was murdered.
Yep. Yep, they killed my baby.
What's the thing you miss most about him?
His smile.
His smile.
He's telling me that he loved me. He's telling me how strong I am. Mark is strong, you got this. He knew his mom was a fighter. And I just want justice for my baby. I just want justice for my baby. I just been begging for him and won't nobody help me, and I don't understand why. When everything is right there. Won't they help me? What did my baby do? They didn't have to kill my child. They could have fixed me. They could have corrected me. It's okay. You make mistakes. They didn't have to kill my baby. I know them kids kill each other as a mother. Every mother know their kid. I know what I raised. I know what they did from day one when I got that call stating that my child got killed. I instantly knew what I know today. They took my baby from me. And I'm going to get justice, and I don't care what it takes.
What do you think? What do you think's going on and happened here?
I just kind of, agree, with my sister, because it's obvious, that they kill each other. We got too much evidence stating that they did it. So how? We was lied to for a whole year before we even got the autopsy report. And I'm surprised that we got that. They tried so hard to keep stuff from us. They lied. And I don't know if them lied to us or
You okay, mustache?
me have to, us have to relive this, or I just, it's just, to find out just, what really happened. We already knew. We knew from day one that they didn't kill each other.
Yeah.
So It just didn't make no sense.
It didn't make no sense.
Just
Because
like,
we know our kids.
just like Michael had stated, there's some wild Western stuff. Like, ain't no,
Yep.
that's impossible.
Yep.
Wow. Ain't no way.
And for there to be absolutely zero in everything that you have shown me between the autopsy reports, the crime lab reports, everything, there's no proof that your son, who this case is closed because they're saying he murdered Donald and Donald murdered him.
That's insane.
There's no evidence whatsoever that your son ever even had a gun in his hand.
Exactly.
He was wearing an ankle monitor that was not signed by a judge to even be on him. That ankle monitor that would have proven your son's location
Yep.
is missing
Yep.
from
And
the
they
evidence.
removed that off of him before his body even got shipped to the crime.
And who told you that?
Kimball's.
Kimball's did.
Miles Kimball's the one that had his body.
Right.
He said that the probation officer, Miss Blackwell,
Mhm.
which wasn't even the one that removed it, she wasn't even nowhere around when that money got put on him.
Right.
But he stated that Miss Blackwell and her co-worker is the ones that took ankle months off my baby leg.
Because there's nothing in the autopsy about an ankle monitor on your son. Nothing.
They
Which
removed
means
all of that.
And you were told it was removed at the hospital by the medical examiner.
That is correct.
Uh-huh.
No, not by the medical
No.
examiner. It was moved by the probation officer, Miss Blackwell.
She took it off of him.
She took it off of him.
And we have documentation about the ankle monitor, but it's fake.
Yes.
We're going to be uploading that because it's literally done on a Google Doc.
No.
Literally, it's a Google Doc.
No signature.
No signatures, no authorizations, no nothing. There seems to be a lot in your son's case, including a red hoodie, that would prove two things. Or two things to be false. That your son, Jerick, was shot at close range, or he was shot at a distance. Or that he fired a gun at all because he would have GSR on him had he fired a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
The key pieces of evidence that tell the entire story of your son's case are missing.
The bullet, the ankle monitor, and that red sweater.
The bullet, the ankle monitor, and that red sweater.
Yes.
If there was one thing you could achieve in all of this, in your son's name, you remember you told me you knew you had to go through this.
Mm-hmm.
You had to go through this because your son, his death would not be in vain.
Mm-hmm.
Because you going through this and him losing his life would change other people's lives. Will you elaborate on that?
Meaning that I don't want what happened to my child happen to no one else's. I'm going to do everything in my power to stop them doing to what they did to mine to anyone else. It will never happen again. Not in my son's name. I can't allow it as a mother. And like I said, I'm okay. It hurts. It hurts like crazy. But I'm going to keep fighting. I'm going to fight until I can't fight no more. Justice will be served for my child.
So, what do you think justice would be in Jerick's case? What would you like? We'll start with you. What do you think justice would be in Jerick's case at this point?
Justice for my child. The people that was involved in this murder.
And what about the prosecuting attorney and the sheriff?
I want them all gone.
You want them all
I
gone?
want them out the office. Ain't no way that they're still doing and going and because I mean it's been 2 years ago. It's been almost 3 years ago. Ain't no telling what happened in between that time.
Michael Ladd, we just played it, is recorded saying your son's not going to get any justice because there might be a lawsuit over an ankle monitor.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that right there, that type of ignorancy, we have to stop.
That's a violation of his duty.
Yes.
That is him refusing to do his duty.
Yes. People like him, Bruce Todd, Applewhite, Andrea Hall, Michael Ladd, Nick, Brianna Holland, his mama, Nick mama, the brother. I want them all. I want them. I want them to reap what they sowed.
And what do you think justice would be?
You know, justice will be, you know, it'll be, you know, for him to just be, so no, him knowing that we got justice for him, we done fought this fight for him, that his race has won, because it's already won. And for my family to, you know, just get closure, get a piece of mind, a piece of sanity, you know, so we can like actually move on. Yeah, it's been 2 years. To move on. I can't even. I just don't believe my baby's gone. I just cannot believe it. I ain't no way, you know. And then it's just like, it's hard to move on when I know what happened to my child. It's hard.
But there's no justice.
No justice, nothing. And they know that I know. We all know what happened. From the judges on down to the police, everybody know what they did. They know that I know what they did. They didn't even told me. They admitted to it, but I just.
It's an uphill battle, but it's worth fighting.
Oh yeah, it's worth the fight. He's worth the fight.
I do not believe that your son pulled the trigger at all.
No, my baby didn't pull the trigger.
I don't think he had a gun. I mean, there would have been some type of gun residue. Mm-hmm. The fact that red hoodie is missing, the piece of evidence that would say for a fact that he was nowhere near a weapon, it would show that he was shot at close range from GSR, or he was shot from a distance from lack of GSR. There's so much, the blowback and everything, so much evidence in that red hoodie. And whenever you got his personal effects back, you got back his bloody underwear, but you didn't get no blood on the pants, and the hoodie is gone.
And I knew that. I knew his thing was gonna be here. I knew it.
I knew it wasn't going to be in there too. That's the reason I told you had to get it.
I know.
Because having that sweater would have been able to be tested and prove that your son was not a murderer who was shot by a murderer.
Yes. And that's why they kept pushing us off and prolonging us, you know, when we kept going up there, they don't have it. We'll get it, we'll do this, we'll do that.
It wasn't until just like, a month ago that you finally got the evidence box back?
Yeah.
After it was signed May the 30th of 2024 for you to receive that.
That is correct. Yes, we just received it like a month ago.
Now, you also, the first time y'all went up there, they told you it was lost.
Yeah.
Correct?
She said they couldn't find it. They couldn't find it. We sat there for an hour. While they claimed they was looking for it, and they claimed they couldn't find it. And a year later, they popped up with this.
Well, you guys, we're just 19 minutes shy of 2 hours. I would like to get y'all's closing thoughts on everything. I believe that this is so important to get your son's story out there because I'm a mother in this world, and our children are our future. Mm-hmm. And as long as your son's name is being dragged through the mud as a killer, and the people that actually killed him are not behind bars, that makes this world a more dangerous. And I think that it is so important that we realize that, because these people that did this to your son, they weren't arrested, they weren't held accountable, and now they're out here. They're already involved in other homicides. Mm-hmm. They're already involved in other drug deals, things, everything going on in the city. There are multiple charges, this, that, the other. And there's no, and they're a threat. Yeah. They're a threat to everyone in the public, including everyone else's children. Yes. My hope for you guys is that justice comes through him, that Jerick's name ends up on a foundation that helps families just like y'all, And we're going to be working on that together, hopefully, to get that started. And to spread your son's story and awareness, because something else that's going on, everyone speaks about it. There's a lot of corruption in Forest City, Arkansas.
Yes.
They're allowing murderers to stay on the streets.
Yep.
They are accusing innocent people who were murdered of murder to cover it up.
Yep.
And something needs done for all of our children's future.
Yes. And not only do I want to get justice for my son, but I also want to get justice for Donald Williams too.
Right, he deserves justice.
Yes,
because he was murdered just
yes,
like your son was.
It wasn't just my baby. We talking about 2 kids.
2 children.
You know, yeah, that's my child too, but it was another child. They threw this child in there to get to my baby. That baby didn't deserve to die.
Neither one of them
That
did.
baby was innocent, of course. Both of them was innocent. That baby died along with my baby.
If he was shot inside that car, the only person that could have shot him was Brianna.
Exactly. And
Because she was driving, and he was in the
there.
passenger seat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, we're going to be uploading more videos. Final thoughts, ladies, before we go. Do you have anything you want to add, Lynn?
No, I just want to say, I'm gonna keep on fighting for my nephew, no matter what. And other mothers out there, just like me and just like my sister, you know. I'm gonna fight, you know.
Just trying to prevent this from happening to anyone else. Because, I mean, this here is not no joke. This is one hell of a fight. And to fight the same people that's supposed to protect and serve. The same people that killed my child. Man, it's hard.
It's very hard.
But
And
it's
covering
fair.
it up.
Yep.
And back and forth fighting between each other so that justice is not served at all.
It sucks. But, you know, we serve a God.
That's right.
And I know justice will be served.
It will.
Yes, indeed.
My prayers are with you. We're going to continue to cover this case. We have a lot to upload in videos and stuff. So everyone out there that is watching this video, that is going to be watching this video, if you would not mind, please sharing this video everywhere. Because you heard it. You heard it with your own 2 ears. This mother and this aunt and this entire family and this boy right here, Jerrick Holder, are being denied justice because they're afraid of lawsuits. Out of the prosecuting attorney Michael Ladd's own mouth, talking about the investigation was botched. I don't think it was botched. There's Michael Ladd saying they let that girl leave with them guns off that crime scene. Y'all tell me this is not a conspiracy and a cover-up. And it keeps happening. Where, ladies? Where? Forest City, Arkansas, St. Francis County.
The most corrupted small town around surrounding areas.
I agree with that.
Yes.
Ladies, thank you so much for being here with us today. Once again, you want to say his name and his birth date real quick?
Yes.
And his date of death, please.
Yes. This is my baby, Jerrick Holder. Jerrick Holder Jr. His birthday was 10/22/05. He would have been 19 today. His death date was November the 21st, 2022. We love you, Nunu.
Today's his birthday?
No. No, his birthday was October 22nd,
October 26th.
2005.
Yep. He would be 19 years old if he was
would have been
alive
19
today.
years old
Yep.
if he was alive today. I never get to see my baby grow to be who he could have been due to the circumstances. I'm so sorry, kid.
It's not your fault.
Man, I feel like it sometimes.
It's not your fault.
I don't know, man. I just don't understand why they killed my baby.
Evil. It's the only explanation for it. Greed. Corruption. Lies. Evil. That's all evil.
Took my sweetie. My handsome boy.
He was beautiful.
Inside and out.
Alrighty, you guys. That's going to conclude our interview for today. Please share this information. This family needs justice. There's not going to be any justice in St. Francis County Her son's case has been closed. Closed. They're just saying Donald shot him and he shot Donald. But you know what? I think after listening to all of this today and with the documents that I'll be uploading and other videos over the next few weeks, that you will see that is not what happened here. And this mother and this family and Jerick deserves justice, as do all of our children. You okay, Ashley? You guys, I'm going to end this live stream. Like I said, please just share. It helps bring awareness. And thank you guys for watching so much. We appreciate you being here. Share a smile and save a life. You never know. The life you save might just be your own. Kindness is free and hate costs us so much. This is the cost of hate in this world. No justice. Mothers crying for their children. And children's with the brightest futures promised stolen. We got to put an end to this. So please share this video and share the upcoming videos if you wouldn't mind. Because as you know, there's not going to be. So spreading awareness and raising our voices for these kind of unjust deeds done by the people that we're paying our tax dollars to fight for us, that are supposed to get justice, help us get justice, is not happening. And they really need your help. I appreciate you guys being here so much. Remember to hit that like and subscribe if you haven't already, so that if you're interested in this content or true crime stories, people's experiences and families, and helping them get justice, then you're here in the right place. You guys, I thank you all for being here. Blessings and good night. Now if I can just figure out, yes.